Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe it. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Being your family's grocery store isn't just about having the best butcher cut meat or the freshest produce. It's not about having the highest quality online shopping or experts who handpick your groceries. And it's not just about giving you the most affordable prices. Being your family's grocery store means making sure that you have all of that. And that's why at Fairway Meat and Grocery, it's what we've always been about.
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
We'd like to welcome you to this year's Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We hope you've enjoyed the action today, and we're here today with Farm Bureau President Brent Johnson.
Good afternoon. It's a great day for softball here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. We are just about underway with the second of the Class 4A semifinal matchups. It's going to be the number 8 seed North Scott Lancers and the number 4 seed the Norwalk Warriors. And we'll go ahead and throw it over to our PA announcer right now for the introductions of the non-starters and then the starting lineups of this matchup.
Class 4A semifinal game between the North Scott Lady Lancers and the Norwalk Warriors. The winner of this game will head to the championship game on Thursday on Kruger Seeds Field at 7:30.
What's the change?
Now, let's get the non-starters and assistant
I thought you just said that there was a change.
North Scott.
For Norwalk? Okay.
Number 1, Kamila Eller. Number 3, Aubrey Dewey. Number 6, Javelle Kingsley. Number 8, Katie Berater. Number 10, Natalie Neighbor. Number 12, Riley Daniel. Number 16, Aliana Nelson. Number 17, Maya Oath. The assistant coaches, Allie Eller, Dale Tufty, and Heather Rickard. Now let's get the starting lineup for the Lady Lancers. Leading off, the junior, the shortstop, number 18, Cindy Skerich. Batting second, a junior, the left fielder, number 4, McKinley Dewey. Batting third, a freshman, the third baseman, number 7, Adeline Johnson. Batting fourth, a senior, the pitcher, number 22, Maddie McDermott. Batting fifth, a senior, the DP, number 11, Kylie Wainwright. Batting sixth, a senior, the center fielder, number 2, Carly Brader. Batting seventh, a senior, the right fielder, number 9, Abby Ralph. Batting eighth, a senior, the first baseman, number 20, Shelby Spears. Batting ninth, a senior, the catcher, number 5, Tegan Kelly. And the flex player, a senior on second base, number 21, Riley Robertson. Head coach for North Scott is Holly Holting.
Just give them just a point and go.
Now let's get them on starters and assistant coaches for the Warriors. Number 2, Camry Livingston. Number 3, Danny Peters. Number 5, Lillian Garvey. Number 8, Callie Hinkey. Number 9, Grace Deemer. Number 10, Reese Hines. Number 11, Haley Carnett. Number 20, Adeline Fisher. And number 23, Ava Garvey. The assistant coaches are Alan Downs, Valerie Hollingworth, Ryan Kennedy, and Jill Martin. Now let's meet the starting lineup for Norwalk. A sophomore, the left fielder, number 15, Naya Albert. Batting second, a junior, the right fielder, number 4, Jalen Grant. Batting third, a sophomore, the center fielder, number 18, Maddie Julian. Batting fourth, a junior, the catcher, number 98, Lauren Black. Batting fifth, a senior, the DP, number 17, Sadie Wiley. Batting sixth, a junior, the first baseman, double zero, Eddie Dowd. Batting seventh, a senior, the shortstop, number 21, Kaylee Carey. Batting eighth, a junior, the third baseman, number 7, Jada Livingston. Batting ninth, a sophomore, the second baseman, number 14, Bailey Birmingham. And the flex player, a junior, the pitcher, number 19, Olivia Doherty. Head coach for the Warriors is Bo Livingston. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you please direct your attention to the area in front of home plate for the introductions of our umpires for this afternoon's game. On third base, Mark Amadeo. On first base, Carl Woolridge. And calling your balls and strikes, Phil Crease. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for state semifinals.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we're going to have a little bit of an abbreviated pregame. Obviously, the 4A semifinal game ahead of us, an instant classic, 6-4 winners that knocked off Fort Dodge in 10 innings. And so we will try to get through as quickly as we can, as much information as we can. But for these two squads, it ends up being that the 8 seed North Scott Lancers pull off, I'd say, the upset of the tournament so far. But honestly, it gets so difficult to try to work through, what. How to seed these different teams. And I think that more often than not, those 2-7 and 1-8 matchups are going to be closer than a lot of people expect. But here they are, the North Scott Lancers, moving on to take on Norwalk. And as we take a look at how these two teams got here, it was North Scott with a victory over Clear Creek Amana 12-2, and then Xavier 6-0 in regional play. And then they beat the aforementioned North Polk squad by a final of 7-4 on Monday. Norwalk needed victories over Keokuk and Burlington 10-0, 5-0 respectively, and then defeated Western Dubuque 12-2. So interesting to see the Norwalk Warriors haven't really been tested. We'll see how they are if and when they are punched in the mouth here in Fort Dodge. Want to welcome in Zarin Eggsdahl, our color commentator, and boy, we expect a fun one here today between these two squads.
Yeah, and don't count out North Scott. North Scott absolutely showed what they are made of in that win over North Polk, a senior-dominated team. About 6 seniors get action here for North Scott, and they showed that experience. Team that's been down here at state many times showed that experience right back up the middle to start the game.
Yeah, right out of the gate, it's going to be Sydney Scarage who starts things off with a first pitch swing. I like to see that aggression. Too often you'll see teams that are just taking early in the count, and Scarage uses that aggression to her advantage. It's Zadie Waddle who is on the circle for Norwalk. The senior has made 27 appearances down the line and wasting no time. Jada Livingston fires to Addie Down, and they get the out at first, but it will advance Scarage.
Yeah, and Wadley, the designated player, that's what Norwalk likes to do. They'll use both Doherty and Wadley when they can. But getting the start yesterday and now today is Wadley, Zadie Wadley for Norwalk.
Wadley with the pitch to the right field side underneath it and held onto by Jalen Brandt. Advancing to third is Scarage. So the out does advance the runner, but if Wadley can hold on here against Maddie McDermott, she can strand that runner, but easier said than done.
Yeah, McDermott, 14 home runs on the season. She's the best power hitter on this team. And so far, North Scott's gone off out of every first pitch. McDermott takes the first pitch there. That's the first time now the fourth North Scott batter that hasn't swung at the first pitch so far in this game. Only the fourth pitch thrown by Wadley.
Wadley caught by Lauren Black. Addie Down at first. Bailey Birmingham at second. Kaylee Carey at short, and the aforementioned Jada Livingston at third. This is going to be fouled back and out of play. That gives us an opportunity to go over the outfield from left to right. Nia Hulbert, Maddie Guyon, and Jalen Brandt. McDermott trying to see if she can get some run support for herself early on. Wainwright awaits in the on-deck circle, and a strike called. Nice job there by Black of framing that one and pulling it back a little bit to her left, and the home plate umpire calling strike 2, 1-2 the count.
McDermott, 49 RBIs on the season, leads the team, has a chance to go 50 here.
Popped up and out of play, fouled back, and we'll go back and do it again.
McDermott also will advance her softball career. She's a signee of the University of Northern Iowa, so she'll be heading to Cedar Falls as soon as they wrap up the state tournament here.
Wadley comes home with it. Hit out to center field. Guyon will not be able to catch up to that one. That will be a 2-run home run for McDermott, and exactly the start that the Lancers were looking for. They get it. They put up a crooked number early.
Yeah, a bunch of home runs this season. 15th on the year for McDermott as we see this one again on replay. Just an absolute moonshot. Dead center, 200. Right over the fairway, and Farm Bureau, the proud title sponsor of this tournament, signed there. And dead center, 200. McDermott puts the 8 seed, North Scott, on top. 2-0.
That's going to be an extra base hit. Extra base hits are brought to you by Kruger Seeds, your local seeds dealer. That's going to flare in for a base hit on the right field side. And don't look now, but North Scott with 3 hits in the first half inning, and it's not done quite yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just forgot about North Scott coming into this tournament. And again, a team that's been here for a ton of years, bring back just about everybody from last year's lineup that was here in Fort Dodge, and a lot of them, most of them are all seniors. You've got that experience. That's what paid dividends in the quarterfinal victory, and so far, experience proving on top again here in the semifinals.
Carly Brader in the box, outside. That pitch will miss and go for a 2-0 count.
Fourth straight semifinal appearance for North Scott also. So again, along with the experience of playing softball, they also have experience in this game. They know what it takes.
A called strike, as we'll keep you up to date with scores from the other games. Now, this is an interesting setup in the semifinals. Unlike the quarterfinals, your next opponent not necessarily you're not playing your next opponent they're not playing at the same time. They share a field. That one fouled back into the mitt, and so it will bring the count to 2-2.
Yeah, that's good the way they do that. It allows both teams to get a look at both semifinals and not play at the same time.
I'm just a little surprised that they do it one way for the quarters, one way for the semis. Whatever the argument for whichever way you prefer, you'd think it'd stay consistent. Maybe that's the reason, because some people kind of like that idea of you want them playing about the same time so they have about the same rest, versus obviously the team's very interested. Either way, you're seeing your next opponent. It's either going to be, if you win, you take on the winner, and if you lose, then you'll take on the team that comes up on the wrong side of it. A couple of fans get out of the way of that one as it is rifled over by them. And right now, the North Scott squad on top by a score of 2-0, and they would love to try to add to that lead here. Coming home with it, that smoked out into right field, and leaping to make the play is Brandt, but the damage is done. 2 runs scored on 3 hits. We'll go to the bottom of the first. You are watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hey fans, Central College has you covered with career-building programs. And with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarships available, it's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. For the North Scott Lancers, it's going to be McDermott on the rubber. She's going to be caught by Tegan Kelly. Shelby Spears at first, Riley Robertson at second, Sydney Skarich at the shortstop spot, and over on third, Adeline Johnson.
Yeah, McDermott making her 22nd start of the season as the first pitch there for a strike. 15-6 record, 130 innings she's pitched this year. Opponents hitting .203 against her. 51 runs, 41 of them earned. 2.20 ERA this season.
Holbert lays off of that one. Holbert, the leadoff batter for Norwalk, plays left field, wears 15.
She started the game with a leadoff home run in the quarterfinal round for Norwalk and helped propel them as she got a good piece of that one, but it goes foul.
Hit out of play to the third base side, and that one is going to escape over the fence and not cause any issues for her. And a big strikeout to start things off on the good side for North Scott as down goes Hulbert.
Yeah, McDermott gets a big strikeout of Hulbert. Somebody that can lead off, get on base, and once you get that leadoff hitter on, sometimes it's pretty dangerous. That's what North Scott did, and we see what they did in the top half of the first inning, scoring 2 runs on 3 hits.
Taking a look at the first offering is Jalen Brandt. Brandt plays right field and is looking for something in her wheelhouse. She'll take a look at a second pitch, ball 2. Brandt batting .353 coming into Fort Dodge. Left-handed batter. Big swing, chopped at Robertson. Taking on a couple of hops and fire over for out number 2.
Yeah, very fundamental there by Robertson. Didn't try to do too much with it. She got her glove down, waited for the ball to get there, and then obviously had time for that smooth transition shortly, about 30 feet there to her first baseman, Spears, for the out.
Maddie Goulian comes up to bat, takes a look at one in the dirt, ball 1.
9 pitches for McDermott so far. Retired 2 of the Norwalk hitters.
Used to saying, as this one is hit well, and that one just escapes the reach of Robertson. So Goulian with a 2-out single, and we'll see if she can't get a 2-out rally going here with Lauren Black coming to the plate.
Yeah, Black, the catcher, she had a good day in the quarterfinals on Monday as well.
Outside, I was going to say that we're used to saying that the winner of this game will take on the winner of, but we know that it's going to be winner set, and a team that, boy, had a lot of turnover at some key positions, and I think as this one is hit into the gap between third and short, back-to-back singles, finishing that thought. I thought it was fair that, you only wanted judge and seed a team based on what they've done in this season, but it's the extras that are hard to define, and obviously Winterset being a defending champion and a team that's been in these big moments, a big reason that they have had, by the numbers at least, a couple of upsets. Norwalk will have a courtesy runner. Cambry Livingston will come in, and that is an IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Yeah. Aggressive on the first one is Wadley.
Yeah, and for Winterset, it also helps to have the Gatorade Player of the Year from a year ago back onto your roster, and a very athletic player there.
This is hit out to right field, and that is going to be a lazy flyout to Abby Rouse. So Norwalk gets a couple of hits but can't do anything with them, and we'll go to the top of the second with North Scott on top 2-0. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
Welcome back here with you live at the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we get ready for the second inning, and the Lancers jump out on top 2-0 in the first inning. Abby Rouse will come to the plate as the 7-8-9 portion of the lineup comes up in this inning, and she'll take a look at strike one.
Wadley threw 16 pitches in that first inning. Allowed a couple of runs, but going to try to settle back in. One thing to think about is these two teams waited a long time after their warm-ups before this game started because of that long, drawn-out game between Fort Dodge and Winterset. These teams warm up on fields that are away from here, so they warm up, then they come here, and you don't have that warm-up time before you start, so you got to keep that in mind for these two teams as well.
Rouse with a healthy cut. 0-2 the count, setting up outside and trying to get that call was Lauren Black. They'll settle for a 1-2 count.
Yeah, that one just on the outside corner. Great spot on an 0-2. You got 3 pitches to the waist. Why not go outside and try to get her to chase after one? She almost did. Great pitch, but just a better hold.
Rouse then pops this one up in foul territory. Is there enough room? No. A little bit of a collision there between Down and Black, and Down had it in her glove for a moment, then ran into the fence, and the fence ended up springing it free from her mitts.
Yeah, and Spears was also there. She's standing on deck for North Scott. She was also there. She was trying to get out of the way, but she actually ran further into the way of the Norwalk fielders.
Outside pitch, swing and a miss, and down goes Rouse for the first strikeout for Wadley on the afternoon.
And now with Spears mentioned standing on deck, 8-9 here for North Scott trying to restart. They can flip back over to the top of the order with either 8 or 9 getting on here. And then you have that top of the order has already scored 2 runs on 3 hits.
The Lancers in their white jerseys with scarlet pinstripes, scarlet numerals and lettering outlined in white. Matching pants, and then the baby blue socks with the scarlet and white stripe. And that is fouled up and over the first base side. The Warriors going with purple tops with white numerals and lettering, white pants and purple socks, as they are the home squad here. 1-1 the count. They'll go home with it, and laying off of that was Spears, but she's called on the outside corner.
78 degrees here. Feels great. There is a south wind at 10 miles per hour reported at the airport, which is across the street from Harlan and Hazel Rogers Sports Complex.
And that has changed, as in our first game, the wind started out slow and then picked up and was definitely going easterly or from left to right. And we did see that perhaps factor in a couple of plays late, including a pitch that, or excuse me, a hit out to center field that Fort Dodge was not able to catch up with. It ended up scoring an insurance run, but not ended up being needed, as Winterset was able to keep a goose egg in the bottom half of the 10th.
North Scott's doing a really good job of seeing these pitches out of the hands of Wadley. Wadley is, I think, pinpointing these pitches exactly where she wants them.
This one is popped up and into center field. Calling for it is Goulian, and she will squeeze that one for out number 2.
She's really picking her spots. She's hitting her marks where she wants to go, and these North Scott hitters are just doing a really good job of picking them up. That time just a bit underneath that pitch that came back inside the zone on a 1-2 pitch. And 9-hole hitter now for North Scott. Again, trying to flip the lineup card over.
It's going to be Tegan Kelly. Kelly catching. That's knocked down by Carey. Into the glove in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Obviously, no runs, no hits on no errors, but they lead 2-0 after an inning and a half. We'll come back with the bottom of the second. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back here with you live at the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American energy. Bottom of the second. Addie Down takes a look at one up and outside the strike zone for ball one.
Yeah, if you're North Scott, solid first inning defensively, trying to match that again here.
Down gets just a piece of it on the tip of her bat, fouls that down, and it will even the count up at 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2. Kaylee Carey and Jada Livingston due up next for the Warriors.
Yeah, got to give a lot of credit to Carey there on that play in the shortstop to end that half inning. A moment ago, she made a really good backhand and throw over to first base. Incredible play in the hole, and now she'll get a chance to bat coming up second.
Down lays off of it, so it evens up the count at 2-2. Slapped over to the second baseman, who knocks it down, keeps it in front of her. But Robertson unable to make the play, and so it is Norwalk with an early base runner here in the bottom half of the second.
Yeah, Robertson going to get charged with an error there. She did a good job of keeping it in front of her, but just couldn't quite corral it enough to get it over to first base. But no hurt done. There's only a runner on first base. Norwalk, though, has some building, has some momentum.
Norwalk up next, the aforementioned Carey chops that one down right in front of her own dugout, as on the fence, the purple and white getting the best view they can and trying to see if they can't get the crowd into it as well. Missing, and it goes 1-1.
Over 20 hits on the year for Carey in this spot. In that 7-hole, it's a good spot to try to get some runners on and, again, flip the lineup card over.
Fouled back into the netting.
Sometimes you just need that back half of the order. You know, your top 4, 5 hitters aren't always going to have amazing days. Sometimes it takes to win games 6, 7, 8, 9 to step up and hit well, just like that.
Well into the gap. That's going to drop in at the foot of the fence. It's going to be a stand-up double for Carey, as Down ends up at third, and that is an extra base hit, which is brought to you by Kruger Seeds, your local seeds dealer. Visit KrugerSeed.com today. That's KRUGER seed.com today.
Just stroked beautifully. 4th double of the season for Carey. She does have a little bit of power, has a couple of home runs. Again, 4 doubles and a triple this season, but just a pitch she liked to hit right down the middle and just absolute line drive, linear swing right in the gap. Couldn't have done it much better.
Just how they draw it up. Sometimes you'll see players with kind of an awkward swing and it gets the job done, but they're textbook, as this one is fouled back by Livingston.
And now if you're Norwalk, time is going to be called here by Coach Livingston down the third base side. I wonder if he's going to make a change of some sort, or maybe he's curious on a lineup change somewhere. But yeah, now if you're Norwalk, you got runners at second and third here. There will be a runner over at third coming in.
We will have an IMT insurance substitution on the base paths. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at IMTINS.com. For Norwalk, that is 8th grader Reese Heim checking in.
Yeah, saw Reese in the quarterfinal game as well.
Poked out to the right side over the netting, so a long strike, and it's 0-2 on Livingston.
McDermott up to 10 pitches so far here in the half.
And similar spot, not quite as far down the line, but it ends up in the same result, and we'll go back and do it again.
Livingston, a right-handed hitter, just needs a ball to the right side here. Just needs to go with one to the right side. As you see, the North Scott infield is in.
Outside, and from our vantage point, easy to decide to lay off that, but I can tell you, in Jada Livingston's cleats, that was a little bit dicey, but she had faith in her read and could see that was definitely outside. Then, doesn't get much on it, just for a second. Glancing at home was McDermott, and she made the right decision. That's a bang-bang play, and too many things have to go your way. If you're McDermott, don't compound the issue. Take the sure out, and for Livingston, she will gladly sacrifice herself on the 1-3 putout and will take the RBI.
Yeah, this is a long game, and you're down by 2, so might as well find a run here when you can. And, McDermott picks it up. Maybe could have flipped it, but it would have been too close of a play. Makes a smart decision over at first.
It's not just about whether you can beat them with the ball. In that situation, it's not a force out, so everything's got to be perfect. The toss, the catch, applying the tag, and every once in a while you do all of that, and then the runner finds a way to slide around you. So I think McDermott made the absolute right decision in taking what she was given there, and that was the out at first.
Yeah, and in that situation, there's no point in compounding situations of making a situation worse. Obviously, they're already going to score a run. You don't want to have runners at first and third, and even worse if your pitch is off, as there's a conversation in the circle here, if your pitch is off, that ball goes behind. Now 2 runs score, and this game's tied. So McDermott, a heads-up player, going to play at UNI, as I mentioned earlier, and just gets an out where they can. And now trying to figure out what they're going to do here on Birmingham. 9 and then 1-2 are due up for Norwalk. So a conversation being had in the circle for the Lancers.
And this Lancers squad, unlike the last couple of teams we saw in Winterset and Fort Dodge, a very senior leading team, a lot of experience out there. And outside of Adeline Johnson, everybody else in the starting lineup this afternoon, all upperclassmen, they rely heavily on this class of 2023.
Yeah, and that's what, listening to Coach Holting talk, and that's exactly what she said, is they're just relying on their group, their older group.
It is fouled and back. So we will bring the count to 2-1. As you mentioned, Birmingham trying to keep the momentum going and then get to the top half of the lineup. McDermott gets her ball position in her hand where she wants it, fires, and it's outside. It'll bring the count full.
Yeah, Birmingham's done a good job of getting on base this season, hitting around the 300 area, and that's what you want as a 9-hole hitter. Find ways to get on base. Not going to get a whole lot of RBIs in that spot, but get on base.
This is going to knock in a run, directing traffic. That ball gets away, and now an opportunity to get into second. So Birmingham will be credited with the RBI. She has the single and then reaches second on an error. Meanwhile, Carey touches them all, and we've got ourselves an even ball game at 2.
Yeah, Scarritt's going to be charged with an error there on the throw in the dirt, but the error will go to Scarrett. But yeah, Birmingham, 9-hole spot comes up, only has about 10 RBIs this year, knocks in a big one there, and we're tied just like that. Norwalk said, don't count us out, and Holbert steps up. She hit a home run in the quarterfinal round, and not afraid to swing the bat.
So it will bring the top of the order up Holbert, who struck out her first time through. Now with a better situation, a runner on second. This will take an odd carom. Is there time? No. They'll come home aggressive on the base running and safe. As Birmingham is emphatic as she pops up. Holbert ran that one out and will pick up an RBI for her efforts. And we'll take a look at the replay here, but it's 3-2 Norwalk on top.
Yeah, as you see there, and I'm glad the official, I marked it down already as a hit. I'm glad I see the official scorebook has also marked it down as a hit. That's got to be a hit there for Norwalk, and it's going to be a good one for Holbert as she brings in a run. And just like that, Norwalk's on top.
Yeah, Robertson got to it, but just the speed of Hulbert is the reason that she was able to get to and stay on first base. And then aggressive base running by Norwalk and Birmingham. What helped there was the fact that Birmingham could be off on contact because she saw it was low and she saw it was to the right side of the infield. If that's poked to short or third, she might have to hesitate as to what she's doing and might still be stranded at third.
Yeah, that throw is probably not coming across the diamond if it's on the left side and she's not scoring. Exactly what you said there. So that ball has to be on the right side, and hitters know that. And Hulbert, being a good hitter she is, she knows when she has a runner out there, second and third, we want everything to the right side to try to move those runners.
A strike called on Jalen Brandt. Brandt grounded out to the aforementioned Robertson at second, her first time through.
Now if you're North Scott, you just want an out.
Big swing on a low pitch. Diving back in is Hulbert. There was no throw from Kelly, but that goes to show how much of a threat she is to get that ball back to first.
McDermott would like to get it herself here as she got a 1-2 count.
Knocked down by the third baseman, but that is a fair ball. And that was one that would have found the gap and been likely an extra base for both the hitter and the runner if it wasn't for the freshman Johnson getting a piece of it with her mitt.
Yeah, officially going to go down as a hit. That ball was touched in fair territory, then lands in foul territory, so it is a fair ball. Credited for a hit is Branton. Now Norwalk threatening with runners at first and second, and right in the meat of their order as Goulian, the three-hole hitter, steps in.
Taking a look at strike one is Goulian.
Goulian, 25 RBIs this year, has had a great season, over 30 hits, and Norwalk could use one here. Lancers, they need an out.
Off the plate, ball 1-1 the count.
Unless something's out in the outfield, you're not too worried if you're Norwalk about somebody scoring. So if something's in the infield, fly ball, things like that aren't going to score runs. Right now, if you're North Scott, you just want to get an out anywhere. Not really worried about those runners.
Chopped to the gap. That is picked up by the glove of the second baseman. She throws to first. I don't think it would have mattered, but it pulls Spears off the bag, and we have another infield hit. Goulian is able to pick up a run batted in, and Hulbert comes around to score. It's a big inning for the Warriors. 4-2, they lead.
Yeah, Coach Livingston is not afraid to throw the windmill there at third base. He is an aggressive coach and aggressive base running to score the last two runs now for Norwalk. Time is going to be called by Black, the catcher, the four-hole hitter. Big spot here for both teams. Norwalk can really try to open things up here with more runs, and North Scott could use the big out again for a third straight hitter.
Off the mark to Black.
Also have to give credit to Robertson, though. She dives and stops that ball from going out into right field. If that ball is in right field, the runner at second, Brandt, is likely at third, and who knows, maybe scoring on that aggressive base running.
Hit to the shortstop that jumps up into the glove of Skarich and dug out beautifully by Spears. That's a difficult play, and it's because of the speed of Black out of the box, and a good decision there by Skarich. Did not hesitate, did not think about going anywhere, but first that was their only opportunity, and then again, Spears on the backhand able to scoop that one cleanly.
Both teams are happy with that situation. Norwalk moves runners over to second and third. North Scott gets an out as there's a ground ball foul here. So both teams are okay with how that works out. And yes, great pick over at first base by Spears. That's sometimes first basemen don't get enough credit for their work with the glove over at first. Credit to Spears.
Wadley takes a look at one upstairs. 1-1. Flew out to Rouse out in right field. Her lone time up. Norwalk comes in with a record of 32-9. The Lancers 27-11. The 4 and 8 seeds respectively. Popped up to the shortstop and able to backtrack is Skarich. She gets the out, but 4 runs across the dish. We'll be back with the top of the third. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
When you choose Delta Dental of Iowa, you set a chain of good in motion. Because we invest in your community. So whether you get your plan at work or purchase it through us, you get more than great dental and vision insurance. You make a difference for others. Choose Delta Dental for your smile, for your health, and for your community.
Welcome back here with you live at the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. As we get ready to start the third inning, it's North Scott and Norwalk in Class 4A semifinal action. Winner set awaits the winner. That game will be played over on Kruger Seeds Field at 7:30 tomorrow night. And the loser will take on Fort Dodge. That'll be back here at the Iowa Central Field in the third place game, scheduled for 6 o'clock tomorrow night for North Scott. They will go with the young lady who made the ending, actually the last two outs, first fielding one over and throwing to first, and then catching one on the fly. It's Sydney Skarich. She singled and scored as Maddie McDermott went yard back in the first inning. 0-1 the count. Skarich starting to get out of the box early, looking to run and swing at the same time, and she pulls that back. Count goes 1-1.
Yeah, slap hitter here for North Scott, and you can see the Norwalk defense playing to that. The shortstop, second baseman are coming in, even with third and first, trying to play that slap. And that's what happens sometimes when you play in on a slap. You're able to just get it over the glove of the shortstop into left field.
Over the glove or on the glove, as that was the case, as Kaylee Carey leapt to try to come up with that and unable to. So we will have a runner at first to start things off.
Yeah, when you bring those when those infielders in like that, it's sometimes tough to get those line drives or a hard hit ground ball. Runner takes off.
Stolen base attempt, sliding around the tag. The first base umpire says no, the tag was applied, and Black fires that into the glove, and we have got an out here on Skarich.
No, I think he's saying, I think she left early from first base. She left early from first base, so that's that's what the first base umpire's call is. There is the fact that she took off too early, therefore she's out. So she beat the throw, but she beat the throw because she left early.
Yeah. So here we go with Tui. And McKinley. Tui takes a look at a called strike. She's a junior and plays left field for the Lancers. Ground ball hit to the third baseman just in time. Tui with a set of wheels on her, but Jada Livingston beat her by a half step, and quickly 2 down for the Lancers.
Yeah, that's big here for Norwalk. They get back-to-back of those outs, and credit to Black, though. She made a really good throw on that throw down to second base. That should highlight that as well. That was a great throw by Black, and we've seen her do that so far in this game, and so North Scott going to think twice, I think, next time about trying to run.
And that one misses not by much. The offering to Adeline Johnson.
Yeah, Black just turns around and asks the umpire where that pitch was at, and she nods her head after he tells her.
Coming home with it, and Wadley misses outside. Yeah, Wadley's pitch looked good from here. We don't have as good of a vantage point as he does, but that's a good relationship and a good communication to establish there. Nothing disrespectful, just saying, hey, I want to know where our pitcher needs to get into, and that's certainly something that the home plate umpire will allow. There's a swing, and Johnson is going to end up at third. And so something cooking here with 2 outs for the North Scott squad.
Yeah, that's going to be a triple there for Johnson, and Brandt out in right field decided to slide for it and gets past her once she slides for it. So reaching third base is Johnson. And now if you're North Scott, you have a runner in scoring position just 60 feet away. You need to try to bring her in. And you couldn't ask for a better batter to be up in this situation as, they're going to intentionally walk her. That's a big play there for Norwalk. Good decision by Norwalk. Now it creates a force at second base and also gets the bat out of the hands of McDermott.
So McDermott will take the intentional base on balls. Kylie Wainwright will step up here in just a moment. She singled back in the first inning but was stranded at first. The designated player now awaits as we do have a conversation on the mound with Bo Livingston and the Norwalk squad.
Yeah, Coach Livingston has had an incredible start to his first couple years here at Norwalk. A couple of state tournament appearances last year in Class 4A. Again here in Class 4A, over 62 wins for him now and just 17 defeats here at Norwalk. And Warriors playing good softball, but so are the Lancers, the 8 seed. Runner at third base here with a couple of outs, and 5-hole hitter Wainwright already has a hit today in this game. Another one here would make this a 1-run game.
As we currently sit 4-2, runners on the corners and 2 outs. So it is that situation where the next play made by either team is going to be huge defensively. Norwalk looking to get out of a jam but keep a 0 in the top half of the third inning. North Scott trying to put up a crooked number. They love multiple, but they got to start with the 1, and right now that run is sitting at third and Johnson.
If you see Birmingham, she's shaded really far to first base, and because that's where Wainwright likes to go with pitches. So Birmingham, the second baseman, playing really close to first.
Wainwright lays off of that one upstairs, and the count goes 3-0. Obviously, if you're Norwalk, you don't want to put another runner on base, but with 2 outs, it isn't the worst result that they could have here.
That would create a force at every plate base, including home, in case there's something that's just chopped right in front of the catcher. Therefore, Black can just grab it and step on home plate. So force everywhere. It's not a horrible situation, and they got the 6-hole hitter due up here for North Scott.
Bases loaded, couple of walks back-to-back, 1 intentional, 1 on 4 pitches.
Maybe the intentional walk there to Wainwright.
Yeah, see if you can't get her to swing at something she shouldn't, but you have confidence in both your pitcher and your catcher that you're not going to have a passed ball there. 0-1, she gets ahead on Brader. Popped up in foul territory, but that's going to hit the top of the Lancer dugout. No harm, no foul, although it does bring an 0-2 count.
Yeah, and we hadn't seen Wadley, miss with 4 straight pitches yet in this game, so I wonder if that was not the situation. She's come back now with 2 balls in the zone, a called strike and a foul ball, and now she's 1 strike away from getting Norwalk out of this jam here. But on the other side, Brader, base hit, could tie the game. You've got a runner 60 feet away. You've got a runner 120 baseline feet away.
0-2 the count. The pitch is fouled back, so we'll go back and do it again with the bases juiced. Johnson at third is the runner that Norwalk most concerned with.
43 pitches for Wadley now on the game.
Outside, and it misses.
Yeah, good call there. Norwalk crowd wanted it. They don't have a great angle there from the third base side, but definitely outside from here.
Natalie Neighbor, the courtesy runner at second, Wainwright at first. This is popped up, and the catcher will find it. It's Black, and that's got to be a shot to the gut for North Scott. They load them up, but they can't bring them in. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Norwalk on top, 4-2. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Fans' official state tournament merchandise is now available online. Visit IGHSAU.org to browse and customize your merchandise to match your style. My name is Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play. Zarin Eggsdahl, our color commentator, Jose Guzman, our engineer and producer, and Nick McCluskey providing the camera work, as that is a pitch taken by Norwalk's Down. Down reached on an error back in the second and came around to score. She'll pop one up, and Skerich watches that one into her glove for out number one.
Yeah, big out there for North Scott. You come off, as you mentioned, a little disappointment, not getting any of those runs in with the bases loaded. Good to start off with an out, and for North Scott, really wanting a quick one here to try to get back to the dugout. You had some momentum offensively. Let's get back up and let's hit, but we got to get 3 outs first.
Called strike in on Kaylee Carey. She doubled in that big inning and came around to score.
And that 7 spot, Carey just had that absolute rope, and this one pretty far outside. But yeah, Carey just absolutely roped one in that left center field gap her last time up.
That will even up the count at 1-1. She takes a look at ball 2. Carey, a senior, reaching this week triple digits in the at-bats on the 2023 campaign, batting .235 prior to her activity here in Fort Dodge.
Yeah, McDermott just missing with a couple of pitches here, 3-1 count. We'll have to come back to the strike zone now. Carey will be keeping an eye on it.
This is popped up the right field, signed foul territory, and making the diving play is Riley Robertson. We've seen a couple of times her flash that athleticism and defense, but it hasn't always worked out in the form of an out there. Covers a whole lot of real estate and is able to get a big second out.
Yeah, watch this one on replay, and this is why Robertson is playing second base. She's not hitting. She's only a defender. This is why they have her here. Look at this. She got an immediate beat on the ball and goes diving for it, sliding along that tarp. Great play by Robertson. Same area, a little deeper this time.
Little deeper, and hits off the top of the fencing, as giving that one a run was Abby Roos.
Yeah, good aim there. That can't be much across. What? Couple of inches hitting that top of that fence.
0-1 the count, 2 down, and North Scott trying to make quick work of the Warriors here in the bottom half of the third.
8-hole hitter Livingston sacrificed her first time up.
Upstairs and out of the zone, 1-1 the count.
8-9-1. The next 3 are currently 8, then 9-1 for Norwalk.
Smoked out to center field, backing up and making the catch is Carly Brader for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 home half of the third. We'll come back in the fourth with Norwalk on top 4-2. You are watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy, as we get ready to start the 4th inning. Rouse, Spears, and Kelly due up for the Lancers, and Wadley delivers and catches the outside corner for strike 1.
It's always good to start with a strike. Wadley, 46 pitches in the outing so far, 45 through 3 complete.
Goes upstairs, changes the location, and it ends up with the same result. This time a swinging strike, and ahead 0-2.
Yeah, good spot there for Wadley. When you're ahead, you can do what you want as a pitcher. Tries to go outside. I think that was probably the right spot. She hit a right spot there, trying to get a chase. The pitch a little high and a little outside. You can see that one as the batter. Rouse did a good job of holding back.
And same situation there. You could see her starting to rock into it and pulled that back alertly. The winner of this game will take on Winterset. Meanwhile, on the other field right now in Class 3A action, it's Williamsburg taking on Esterville Lincoln Central. And Williamsburg on top 2-0. This is hit out into center field. That will be a single for Rouse. And just what the doctor ordered for the Lancers.
Yeah, Rousey does a great job. That's a solid hitting there, a solid at-bat. She got behind in the count and then was able to hold back on a couple of pitches outside. Once that count gets a 2-2, Wadley has to come back in the zone. She waited for it to come back in the zone and just stroked one out into center field.
They'll come home with it, showing bunt, putting a bunt down, and a great one as down, only able to knock it down. That was a tough one because she was coming in with so much speed, and the bunt was hit with so much speed in the opposite direction that they kind of crossed up one another, and now we end up with runners on first and second and still looking for that first out of the inning.
Yeah, watch this. I think Down just overran it a little bit. She was coming in hard. She was expecting that ball to be on the ground, but instead it was in the air. She wasn't expecting that ball to be in the air. She is going to be charged for an error on that play, as we'll have a courtesy runner heading over to second base for North Scott.
And a tough ruling, but that's the way they decide to call it. I think one thing that worked against her was her speed coming in.
Yeah.
The other was that she had to turn the glove over on the backhand. If that's hit right into her mitts, she's probably able to make that play. Swinging out of the first offering is Tegan Kelly, and if Kelly can find any way to get on base, then you are loving the situation if you're the Lancers, because you have a situation where the top of the order comes up.
Yeah, and even as barring she doesn't hit into a double play here, you're going to have 1, 2, 3 with less than 2 outs, and they are going to try to bunt her on. That's bunted beautifully, and the bases are going to be loaded. What a play. What a bunt by the 9-hole hitter, Kelly.
And that escapes the reach of Down, and for a second, I thought that perhaps they'd get really aggressive on the base pass, but I think you're best off here waiting as there are no outs in the inning.
Yeah, and she just finds the hole there. You know, a lot of people will go up the first base line because that's what you're trying to do when you're sacrificing, getting as far away from the runners as you can, but she knows that there's going to be that little hole, and if you can aim it perfectly, she does it right between the pitcher and the first baseman, and nothing that Downey could have done over at first base as she just that ball goes right in front. And now we're going to see that pitching change as they'll flip-flop that DP and flex more than likely. I would believe that Doherty is likely the pitcher here for Norwalk, and it will be. So they're going to flip-flop that DP flex that we see here in softball, and it'll be the second ace. They kind of have a two-ace rotation, and Doherty comes in.
We'll take a quick step away from the action. We'll be back in a matter of moments. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Back with you here live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. And if you're a Norwalk Warriors fan, you're a little more confident than when we came into the top of the fourth, as now they've got a situation. Bases are loaded. Still looking for the first out of the inning. And coming up to bat for the North Scott Lancers is Sydney Scarich. Oh, by the way, she's singled both times she's come up. She hits this out to center field. This should score a run. They'll tag as no. A great throw prevents anyone from going anywhere. And a tap by Black to her pitcher Doherty. Not only do they record the first out, but that's Scarich going down, who bats for both average and power.
Yeah, Golian with a great throw, and I think North Scott knew her arm and didn't even try to challenge it. Runner stayed. It wasn't deep enough. It was only in the middle of the outfield, and Golian showing off the arm strength there from center.
Yeah, they had the red light the whole way. Wouldn't have been surprised if, with the runners at second and third, you tag and maybe take two aggressive steps and stop there, see where the ball ends up. But you're right. The scouting report is that you're not running on 18, and she, in essence, with that arm, prevents a run. It's not just about the outs that you make. It's the fear that you put in the opponent and preventing them from trying to get aggressive on the base paths.
Yeah, that's what infield can do for you. I know they don't take it necessarily here before these games, but these coaches called around. They got friends in the coaching circle. Everybody networks, and you know who you can run on, who you can't run on, and where a ball should be at is the slap hitting.
Well, and the other thing to factor in is I would not be surprised at all if a lot of the coaching staffs do some of their scouting by watching those quarterfinal games. Is you can go back and do so right here on the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament on the Girls Union Network. So, gathered by the catcher. That's a big stop, but it's all for naught if Doherty can't find the strike zone here.
Doherty doesn't walk a lot, only 33 walks in 130 innings this year.
Toohey working for, obviously, the first time on Doherty fresh into the game. It's outside, ball 4. And so coming across to score for North Scott is Camilla Eller, running in place of Rouse, and we have got ourselves a 4-3 game, and North Scott still with a lot of potential left on the table here in this half inning.
30th appearance of the season for Doherty. You mentioned her and Wadley are about the same. They both pitch about the same amount of innings this year. They kind of flip them usually halfway through the game. That's where we're at here.
A strike called on the outer half of the plate. We do have a score update in the Class 5A game. It was Pleasant Valley knocking off Muscatine 7-2. So Pleasant Valley and Ankeny Centennial will match up in the championship. That's a 1 versus a 6 seed.
Pleasant Valley's won a state championship in the past. That'll be a ball. There was a check swing, and in high school softball, good job by Black, very experienced catcher. She turns around and asks the umpire, hey, sir, can you check down to first base? I know when people watch the higher leagues, the catcher can appeal, but in high school softball, it can only be appealed by the home plate umpire.
Yeah, the check swing did hold up. A strike called on the inside corner brings the count in the pitcher's favor to 1-2.
And most of the times the umpires, we got great ones here. Most of the times when you ask, they'll oblige. We've seen that all week here so far at the state tournament. Catcher says, hey, sir, can you check down there? They're going to always ask for help.
And a lot of times they'll beat the catcher to the punch. That is stroked and off the second baseman. Gets away from the shortstop. It's going to score 1. It's going to score 2. Everybody advances 2 bases. And North Scott has flipped the script. They now on top by a score of 5-4.
Yeah, there's going to be at least one error charged, and it will just be one error. That ball shoots out in to left field. As we're going to have an intentional walk here as well. That one just goes off the foot and then into left field. You'll see a couple of runs score, and the bases are going to once again be loaded again as there's an intentional walk of McDermott. So McDermott will head to first, and a courtesy runner will come in over at first base.
It's all about location, and that ball put in the perfect spot as it bounces off of Birmingham, and no fault of Birmingham's, but not only she's not able to come up with it, but then she kind of inadvertently boots it as she is sliding over. McDermott, for the second time in the game, is intentionally walked. Well, that's because the only time they didn't walk her, she hit one that just landed about 10 minutes ago, as that was a 2-run home run to start things off for the Lancers in the bottom of the first. Or excuse me, top of the first.
Senior Natalie Neighbor is into courtesy run for McDermott over at first base as well. She wears number 10. So another senior on this North Scott roster getting in to get some action as they now lead 5-4.
Doherty comes home with it. This is going to be popped up the elevator shaft on the third base side. Plenty of time and space for Jada Livingston, and she closes that one on a very important second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a huge out there. Now any ball, part of the intentional walk was to get that force out at home plate. Now any ball to any part of the field that's caught, not dropped, caught, is going to end the inning and not allow a sacrifice. And, of course, every bag is also a force out.
They'll come home with it. Big cut taken there by Brader, unable to catch up to it. And she finds herself down in the count, 0-1.
This game's just been a lot of momentum. North Scott had it right away. It felt like, okay, here come the Lancers. Then Norwalk comes and it's like, okay. And now here comes North Scott back. Foul tipped into the catcher's glove there.
0-2 the count. 2 down in the top portion of the fourth. Bases loaded. 5-4 North Scott on top. They'd like to extend the lead. Big swing and a miss. And that is going to end the inning, but the damage done. It's now North Scott on top by a score of 5-4. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Being your family's grocery store isn't just about having the best butcher cut meat or the freshest produce. It's not about having the highest quality online shopping or experts who handpick your groceries. And it's not just about giving you the most affordable prices. Being your family's grocery store means making sure that you have all of that. And that's why at Fairway Meat and Grocery, it's what we've always been about.
Welcome back here with you live at the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Home half of the fourth, and wasting no time swinging away and chopping it over to the shortstop is Birmingham, but unable to beat out the throw. Skerich gets the put out and quickly one away.
Yeah, now if you're North Scott, you got that momentum back. Now you want to try to kind of harness that defensively and try to get back. Everybody's even. 7 hits for both teams, 2 errors for both teams. The only difference is North Scott leads by 1, and that's the one that matters.
An inside-out swing and is not held onto. That one will hit the ground. Sliding in safely at second is going to be Hulbert. And quickly, the Norwalk squad responds and puts a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Chohi is going to be charged with an error out there in left field, an error that puts a runner in scoring position. And just like that, Norwalk bouncing back and sliding in safe. Hulbert over at second base did a good slide. The ball actually got there, but Hulbert slid underneath that slide. Umpire right on top of it makes the call.
Brandt takes a look at a strike in the outer portion and upstairs portion of the zone. Brandt with a healthy cut as the warm-up. Chopped at over the pitcher and in between the shortstop and the second baseman. They'll go home. They've got the runner and Tagger out. That will slide into the outfield, but backed up in a aggressive play there by Norwalk. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and that one comes back to haunt him.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and we'll watch this one again, but Hulbert just deciding to take off here. We mentioned Coach Livingston has been very aggressive. I'm maybe thinking that North Scott wasn't going to be paying attention and Hulbert could sneak home, but North Scott does a great job. Great throw by the shortstop, Skerich, home and then up to third for Johnson to put the tag on.
So that one slipped past McDermott, got past Skerich, but the third option, Robertson. And what the key there was is she just immediately threw home.
Yeah.
She wasn't even looking to see if the runner was going, but she knew that's the only place we can get in trouble here. And then that caught the runner Hulbert in a bad spot. They will advance the runner to third. That's Brandt, but Robertson again makes the play. She gets over to Spears and 2 down.
That's actually the third out. Will be the end of the half inning. And yeah, we just mentioned, we'll go to break here, but just mentioned Skerich making another great play over there. North Scott, that experience. We'll go to break. We'll come back. More softball after this.
In Iowa, we all play by the same rules. Hard work pays off, practice makes perfect, success is something you earn, and teamwork helps us all be winners. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics. Because on our team and on yours, what we bring to the table is what brings us all together. Learn more about our commitment to Iowa at iowapork.org.
Hey fans, Central College has you covered with career-building programs. And with tuition less than $20,000 a year and tons of scholarships available, it's the best decision ever. Apply today at central.edu. Up for the Lancers is Abby Rouse. She is leading off for the second inning in a row, which tells you the damage that the Lancers did. They did get 3 runs last inning, but they also have to look back and say, but we stranded 3, so in a good position. But if Norwalk is able to come back and tie this one up, that's certainly going to be an opportunity that they point at and think, what if? Doherty, who came in relief of Wadley last inning, gets a strikeout, and don't look now, but she has fanned the last 3 in a row. It's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, absolutely, and we should mention also those fans that are looking for Iowa City Regina and Interstate 35 in Class 2A semifinal. We are a bit behind schedule. We had a 10-inning game earlier today in Class 4A, so that's why we're
Hit out and just in front of the right fielder. Brandt running in. Birmingham gave it a ride as well, and it kind of finds that Bermuda Triangle between those three.
Yeah, it's always tough there. Second baseman, usually it's their play. Sometimes the first baseman can get back there, and if it hangs up long enough, you can get Brandt, the right fielder, in. But just a tough play for everybody. Turning around, second baseman's got a long run. Right fielder's got a long run, so just a tough play. 9-1-2 are the next ones here for North Scott. They really could find an opportunity here where they could get themselves a little bit of a lead.
The runner on first is Spears. The batter is Kelly. And then it's the top of the order over again for the fourth time. And that goes to tell you how active the base paths have been as we're in the fifth inning and we're about to see, barring a double play, the Skerich, the leadoff hitter, come up for a fourth time.
Yeah, and Kelly coming back up here. Kelly did a great job of pushing that bunt into the hole between the pitcher and the first baseman her last time up. She knows what to do with the bat in her hand. Has a 2-0 count here. A good eye so far. Just wants to move the runner. Needs something to move the runner.
Doherty comes home with it. Big cut. Unable to make contact is Kelly. And the senior catcher now with a 2-1 count.
Yeah, Kelly's played her defensive position very well today, and that's transitioned her on offense as well for the Lancers.
Healthy swing there as well. Same result. You hear the clap into the glove of Lauren Black, and it's a 2-2 count with one down. 7:30, the winner of this will play tomorrow. The Winterset Huskies, the 7th seed and defending champions, await the victor. Rocks comes home with it. It's fouled well high and on the way towards the Kruger Seeds field, kind of in between the two fields. And it will be a long strike and keep the count the same.
Mentioned North Scott making their fourth straight trip here to the semifinals, trying to get to a championship game. Norwalk fell in the quarters last year.
Popped and foul, poked over the head of the third baseman. Livingston turned, but knew that there was no chance that was going to end up staying in play, and there's also no chance she was going to be able to get to it.
Norwalk fell to Carlisle in the first round of the 2022 tournament. I mentioned this North Scott team advanced to the semifinals.
Comes home with it upstairs. That one right off of her hand looked like it was going to be okay, and then that one went northbound in an absolute hurry. It brings the count full.
Yeah, Kelly's done a great job of working this count full. She's been behind at time. She started off the count ahead. Now at an even count, looking for a base hit ball 4, as they say.
Kelly awaits, and it is upstairs, and I have to imagine that some of her patience comes from the position she plays. Being a catcher, having that many looks at pitches and from different angles, and it allowed her the opportunity to stay patient. She will be courtesy run for by Aubrey Toohey, as we have another IMT insurance substitution. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com.
We're also going to have a runner over at second base as well for North Scott, as Sadie Breeder will come in and run over at second base. She's a freshman utility player for North Scott.
A lot of the programs that we see throughout the week with sisters, cousins, and distant relatives in the same lineup. And a lot of times the coaching staff has some lineage in the program as well. That is poked softly to the second baseman. Firing in time was Birmingham. That was a difficult play. She made it look easier than it was, and it picks up a huge second out.
Yeah, Birmingham playing in there, trying to get that runner out if she didn't. Running the 100-meter dash there for North Scott was Skerich. She was absolutely flying down that baseline, just called out at first.
So Toohey stands at third, Brader at second. That's Aubrey and Katie, as Again, both of those with relatives on the squad as well. We have to differentiate. A strike in on McKinley Toohey, and she will head down the line and have a conversation before she sees a second pitch.
Yeah, Coach Holting, 6 seasons here with the Lancers, has approaching 150 wins at the school. A few state tournament appearances.
And looking for a big one here as the count 0-1. High and snagged nicely by Black. She made that look very effortless, but that one had a lot on it and was rising in a hurry. Evens up the count at 1-1. They do have a free base at first to give should they elect to. Hit softly, thrown from third to first in time, and Livingston gets a big out for her squad. We will head to the bottom of the 5th with North Scott on top by a score of 5-4. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future, with energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Living your best life means something different to everyone, especially when it comes to healthcare. That's why Mercy One offers compassionate, personalized care. We are here for you with one team of experts, providing access to the primary care and highly rated specialty care you need, easily and conveniently. So go ahead, live your best life. We're with you every step of the way. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
Welcome back, here with you live on at the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament. We're on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. One swing and an out as Black is unable to outrace the throw from Carey at short. Cleanly into the glove of down. And a quick first out here in the home half of the 5th.
Yeah, 63 pitches for McDermott here through now 4 1/3. She's thrown 44 strikes so far in this game, so about 69, almost 70% strike rate. She'll fire another one there to get her to that 70.
Results from earlier today: Ankeny Centennial defeated Southeast Polk 11-1. Pleasant Valley over Muscatine 7-2. So that's your Class 5A matchup, as this one misses outside. Winterset needed 10 innings, but slipped by Fort Dodge 6-4. Here we've got a 5-4 score in the bottom of the 5th. Big cut there. That'll bring the count to 1-2. And over on the other field in Class 3A action, it's the 1 seed Williamsburg taking on Esterville Lincoln Central. 3-0. Williamsburg on top, bottom half of the 3rd inning. That is poked to the second baseman. Robertson turns, fires, and records the out for out number 2.
Robertson has just been automatic from second. She makes another play, a flashy play in the hole here earlier, going to her right, this time to her left, and an absolute great play by Robertson in the hole.
Williamsburg ELC winner will take on the winner of the Davenport Assumption Dubuque Wahlert game. That's taking place at 5 o'clock after the other 3A game. In 2A, it's going to be Iowa City Regina versus Interstate 35. In the top half of the 2A bracket, this one is fouled back and out of play. Van Meter, the 2 seed, taking on Central Springs, the 3 seed in 2A. And then in 1A, Martinsville St. Mary's taking on Wayne. And then the late game tonight, North Lynn versus Clarksville. McDermott comes home with it. Kelly, the senior, catches that on her backhand off the mark. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, we'll have Iowa City Regina that contest with Wayne coming up following this one here.
Fouled back, and it will even the count at 2-2.
Deuces on the board. Trying to get that out. McDermott had a 5-pitch fourth inning.
Ball 3 is down, lays off that one. Down a junior. 0 for 1 in the contest. Popped up to the shortstop back in the third. Reached on an error in the second. That one is scooped up by the shortstop, and it's a 1-2-3 inning as they spray the ball around the infield, but unable to get it past the North Scott defense. We'll come back with the sixth. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Sway's the place for you!
Here in Greater Des Moines, we're the unexpected sports mecca that feels like home. We are the big ballers, the little kickers, the underdogs, and the bulldogs. We've got events wacky and wild, big and small, we host them all. And that old sports cliche, nobody believes in us? Nah, when you come here, you'll believe. Because in Des Moines, only the S's are silent. Let's go!
Doherty delivers a swinging strike. Johnson tried to give that a ride. 1 for 2 in the contest. Has reached twice. And had a big triple in the third inning that for North Scott they weren't able to put enough around it. Couple of walks. And the 3 all watch as the inning came to an end. Black frames that one nicely on the outside. It's an 0-2 count. McDermott and Wainwright due up next. Important for the Lancers. They'd love to get McDermott up with somebody on. This one is crushed out to center field and over the head of Gullion. That will be a stand-up double, and just what we were talking about. Johnson reaches second safely on a Kruger Seeds extra base hit. Your local seeds dealer, visit KrugerSeed.com today. That's KRUGER seed.com today.
Yeah, North Scott trying to add on to their lead. Again, they kind of got the momentum back right now, and this would be a big half for them to try to add some more on.
McDermott, the big bat, and they'll pitch her carefully. She softly chops one, and they get the out at first. What a big moment there for the Norwalk Warriors. If they're able to come back and tie this one up, remember that at bat, because for the Lancers, they were looking to try to put together a big inning here. Right now, they're just going to try to keep the line moving.
Yeah, McDermott's been intentionally walked her last 2, and that time just got out the end of one and poked it right to shortstop.
Wainwright pulls back on that at the last possible second, and it goes for ball 1.
Wainwright popped out in foul territory to the third baseman. Livingston, her last time up. That was a huge out for Norwalk.
Fouled back and into the screen. Quickly ahead in the count as it evens up 1-1.
Base hit here.
The North Scott squad with 5 runs on 9 hits. They've left on 9 and committed 3 errors as Doherty gets the call for strike number 2. On the other side, Norwalk, 4 runs on 8 hits. They've committed a couple of errors, and they have left 5 in the base paths.
37th pitch for Doherty in relief.
Smothered nicely by Lauren Black.
Doherty threw 14 pitches in the fourth, 16 in the fifth, and 7 so far here in the sixth, all in relief of Wadley.
Doherty and Black on the same page. She'll come home with it. Upstairs, and a flinch there by Wainwright, but she pulls up and draws the count full.
Yeah, good job there by Wainwright, seeing that rise ball going upstairs. And those pitches, that's a tough pitch to hit, and especially when Doherty throws it so well. Wainwright checked it the whole way and then decided to pull up as that one was going upstairs and probably would have swung through it.
Doherty on the payoff pitch, finds the outside corner, and Wainwright goes down looking. It's a big second out with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, big out there for Norwalk. Now you got an out, and you got some different things you can do defensively. With nobody out, you really want to try to keep that runner at second base. Still want to keep the runner at second base, but you got some different options to work with here with the 6-hole hitter.
A strike called, and in relief of Wadley, who only had a strikeout in her 3 innings pitched. Coming back with 4 of her own is Darty. A nice 1-2 punch they can go with. Bunted down for the first baseman. Throws in time. Down to Birmingham. Gets the out at first. And it will be no runs on 1 hit. And that hitter left stranded at second. We will press on with North Scott on top by a score of 5-4. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Home half of the 6th inning. And Carey. See if she can't get something going on McDermott. Just catching the outside edge of the strike zone. Carey takes a look at strike 1. The senior shortstop doubled and then flew out to the second baseman. This one is popped up. Brader and Tooney talking it out. It's going to be Brader watching it into her glove for a big first out.
Yeah, center fielder usually asked to play not just center, but right center and left center. You got to cover a lot of area, and you always have the right to the ball as a center fielder, and she plays that one well, coming over and telling Cho-Hee that she had it, and did just so.
The center fielders known for their athleticism because the corner outfielders, you're going to see sometimes a ball that's tough to gauge. Usually as a center fielder, unless there's a big slice or a big wind, it's either at you or you're running towards it. It's tougher to overrun a ball as a center fielder. You can certainly see that in the corner outfield spots as this one goes 2-0.
Yeah, a lot of times your most athletic player is going to be center field and shortstop, but doesn't take away from anybody else. Everybody is needed on the diamond. That's why we have 9 positions.
Thrown in the kitchen of Livingston, and she takes a look at strike 1.
Yeah, it takes everybody to win a baseball and softball games.
Livingston, right-handed batter, pokes that one foul over the first base side. 2-2 the count. McDermott has the call from Kelly, and it's the right one. Livingston with a healthy attempt at that one.
McDermott's been locked down since that second inning where she allowed some Norwalk runners. But since that second inning, she's thrown 10 pitches in the third, 5 pitches in the fourth, 10 pitches in the fifth, and now 6 to retire 2 batters so far here in the 6th inning. So, almost as many pitches in 3, 4, 5, and 6 as she threw in the second inning.
Gave up 2 hits in the first and then 4 runs on 5 hits in the second. But as you pointed out, she has been lights out since. In fact, right now she is looking for her 3rd 3-up, 3-down inning in the last 4. Yep. The only blemish to that was an error that allowed Hulbert to reach and Brandt getting a base hit. But even that, with 2 runners advancing there, they were still able to get out of that inning in just 4 batters. 3-0 the count. She finds the strike zone as Birmingham looked like she could have stapled the bat to her shoulder, was not looking at swinging at anything.
Yeah, and the big at bat here for Norwalk, trying to get top of the order up, trailing by a run, and look at that. McDermott comes back after falling down in the count 3-0, fires back. That's a senior experienced pitcher right there. Gets down in the count 3-0, comes back, fires strike, and now she has a chance to get her team to the 7th inning.
McDermott comes home with it and didn't have any strikeouts coming in, had just 1 coming in and gets back-to-back to bring us to the 7th. North Scott on top by a score of 5-4. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Hello, I'm Brent Johnson, an Iowa farmer from Calhoun County and president of the Iowa Farm Bureau. As proud title sponsor of the state softball tournament, the Iowa Farm Bureau is dedicated to creating a vibrant future for Iowa through partnerships and programs that help cultivate individuals with great character, a strong work ethic, and exceptional leadership skills. Making it to the state tournament is a great accomplishment that takes a lot of support. That's why we provide millions of dollars in awards, grants, and scholarships that recognize athletic and academic excellence. The well-being of Iowa students is also very important to Farm Bureau. That's why we provide concussion insurance coverage at no cost for all students in grades 9 through 12 who participate in a sanctioned sport. As just one of only 7 states to provide this coverage, it's just another way we're striving to support Iowa's outstanding young leaders. So, from the Iowa Farm Bureau, congratulations to all the players and coaches on an outstanding season, and good luck in the tournament.
Welcome back, here with you live on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. And we are just about underway with the top of the 7th inning, coming back with some encouragement being yelled by the North Scott fans as Abby Rouse takes a swing and can't catch up to that Darty offering.
Yeah, last chance for North Scott to add some insurance runs on before they're going to try to punch their trip to the state championship game in the bottom of the 7th.
Outside, that'll even things up at 1-1.
7, 8, 9 due up here for North Scott. So you get 1 on, you get to the top of the order, and we saw that top of the order score 3 runs for North Scott. 2 runs on 3 hits for North Scott to lead off the game. So, you know, they're dangerous as that one comes right back. I think it hit everybody. Got a piece of the catcher Black, got the shoulder of the umpire, and then came back right directly at us here behind home plate, but looks like everybody's okay.
1-2 the count. The leadoff hitter for the Lancers, Spears and Kelly, due up in the top half of the inning. Fouled back, and we'll go back and do it again.
Yeah, Ralph's doing a good job. She's got a hit so far in this game. A line drive right back up the middle in her second plate appearance of the game.
Darty looks in as the signal. They set up outside. It hits off of her glove, and no chance, throws it away. It gets caught up, but Rouse is going to get to second, as that one was considered the media there, kind of tangling that one up inadvertently.
Yeah, so it's going to be an error on Doherty, and then when she fired it over there, the ball lands in the media square. They have a little outline square on both sides of the right field fence, left field fence, and that little square is where the media, that's why our quick pause before we started the inning was we had a media member who wasn't actually standing in the area, was standing outside of the area, so they had to get them in. Now a ball over there, once that's over there, it's considered a dead area, and so that runner moves to second base on that throw.
And obviously, hindsight being 20/20, would have been better if he'd been in his original spot. But the issue there, and you can understand it, Doherty has that hit off her glove. She's frustrated at herself for not being able to make that play cleanly, but she's got to look at the situation and say, Rouse is going to get there. Don't compound the issue. And, in fact, she did by rushing the throw that wasn't going to receive the out, and ends up with Rouse at second.
We're going to have a pinch hitter here for North Scott, as they're going to go to the bench here. IMT Insurance substitution.
Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com.
Shelby Spears is the batter. So Shelby Spears wears number 20, hitting for Brader here.
And with Spears fouling that one back, we'll have a runner in scoring position was Spears. Tries to knock her in from the 8th spot.
Yeah, and Shelby Spears, very experienced. This is her 79th. Well, she's had a ton of plate appearances, but to have 79 registered at bats so far this year, 21 hits, has scored 18 RBIs, 9 doubles. So Shelby Spears not in the starting lineup, expected to, but comes in and going to try to make a big impact here.
Spears awaits, coming home with it. Doherty rocks, delivers, and this is popped up and fouled out of play.
But what an asset to have on the bench for Coach Holting when you still have an athlete on the bench that has 21 hits and 18 RBI, and you can bring her off the bench in such a crucial situation with the runner in second.
1-2 the count, 5-4 the lead for North Scott. And that one nearly clipped Spears. She's able to get out of the way and takes a look at ball 2. Doherty looks in. Spears chops that to the shortstop. The runner will hold, throw across, and they can't get that one into the glove of Down. And so Rouse, patient, does get to third eventually, and now Spears gets to second on the errant throw.
Yeah, this is what North Scott likes. Let's watch this one on replay as the ball just lined right to the shortstop and handled it well. Just one hops it to first and unable to handle it over at first base is Downey.
Tegan Kelly now comes up with runners in scoring position. Nobody out. So the world is her oyster. She can decide what she wants to do. She tries to put down a bunt, rising pitch, and she fouls it back over our left shoulder.
Yeah, nobody out here, so obviously Kelly, if she can put one down the first base side, get that insurance run. Sometimes that one run, if they can get it here in the 7th inning, could be what they need in the bottom half. But if you're North Scott, want to try to tack on as many runs as you can. Top of the order coming up.
Yeah, especially with the 7 and 8 hitters getting on. Kelly just trying to pass the proverbial relay baton and pass the buck, so to speak, but good hands to pass it into.
And Kelly had that bunt earlier in this game. That was quite well, but now with 2 strikes will continue to swing away. 0-2 count.
Can't catch up with it. Kelly goes down swinging, and it's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Doherty, strikeouts are your best friends, as they're going to intentionally walk Skerritt, so she's going to head down to first base. That will load the bases up here to create a force at every base, which helps out Norwalk. But, yeah, tough situation. And, again, strikeouts your best friend if you're Doherty. Right now, a ball anywhere that allows somebody to be safe. Anything in the infield is going to come home for Norwalk. They're all played in as if it was a slap hitter, so everybody's in, even with the pitcher.
Doherty came in the fourth inning without any outs, so she has registered 10, and 5 of them have come in strikeouts. She has picked up at least 1K in every inning that she's been at the circle for.
And this is where we saw North Scott slappers earlier and Norwalk as well. Sometimes that you just get a line drive here. It can be a really tough play with those infielders in.
Tuohy slaps it down the third base side. Well foul. 1-1 the count.
Just you don't have very much time to react when you're so close in on a hard hit ball, and when you've got that momentum of yourself carrying out, Tuohy's just got to be careful that she doesn't come out of the box and swing and hit the ball outside the box.
Tuohy averaging .297 prior to the week here in Fort Dodge. And takes a look at a ball. Talks down the line to Holly Holting. They seem to be on the same page as Tuohy gives a couple of nods her direction. 2-1 the count. Base is full. This is popped up, and it's going to find a gap. It's going to hit and then take a tough left turn, as that one getting to just the edge of the dirt. And it's a bloop single and a big one as Tuohy knocks in a run and gives her squad a 2-run lead.
Yeah, big hit there. And again, all those infielders played in. That ball landed just behind the normal shortstop position and blooped in there.
That was a locational hit. Carey comes up with it if she's playing at regular, especially a deep depth. But that's the crux of it, is those situations where you change your formation. You're playing the odds, you're playing the numbers, but every once in a while, something that isn't supposed to go where it does, and there it comes back to hurt the Warriors. Just at the knees, strike makes it 1-1.
Johnson 3 spot. She's got a couple of hits today for North Scott. None bigger than if she can find one here.
Yeah, she's got a couple of hits in both Kruger Seeds extra base hits. Boy, that would be music to the ears of the Lancers right now. 27-11 are the 8-seed Lancers, looking to move on to the championship game. And
yeah, it'd be crazy. I know a lot of game left, but it'd be 7 versus 8 for the state title if North Scott is able to pull this off. But a lot of game left. Not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, but that would be pretty wild.
1-2 the count. 1 down in the top of the 7th. Doherty comes home with it and crushed down the third base side. Foul. That'll keep us at the same spot.
Yeah, she hit that one well. And we mentioned it's been an even game. 6-4 score. Hits are 10-8 in favor of North Scott. Errors, both teams have committed more than they probably had wanted to. North Scott 3 errors, Norwalk 4 errors, 7 combined in this game. But it's been a lot of fun.
The delivery setting up outside is Black, and that's where she finds that pitch on her backhand. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, an even count here. Doherty has a pitch to waste if she'd like to. I know sometimes she's tried to go outside and try to get a swing and a miss, and she can go there here with a pitch to waste.
Doherty comes home with it. This is popped up to the right fielder, Brandt, underneath it. Does it have enough for the tag up? They'll throw. The runners will all head back, and actually it was the runner at second, Skarich, who took the biggest venture down to the next one, and she had to be careful, but does get back in time, 2 away.
Yeah, Coach Holting just conservative there. No need to get a runner the third out thrown out at home. You know, you have a chance with McDermott coming up. Why take the bat out of your best player and try to come home? I think she might have had a chance to score there, but you don't take the bat out of your best hitter's hands.
And hitting that and fouling that back, we've already seen McDermott hit a home run, and unlike the second and third times up, right now Norwalk's got nowhere to put her. They can ill afford to say, let's pitch around her and deal with a 3-run deficit instead of 2. They've got to attack her aggressively. They do, and they pick up a quick second strike on the inside pitch.
I should say your best power hitter, Skarich, actually the definition. She's got the team lead in average this year. Both are fantastic hitters, and don't take away from either of those, but McDermott, big spot here, down 0-2.
Doherty looking for one last pitch. It gets away, knocked down beautifully. Black with the glove on kind of the wrong way you want it, then also got the leg and thigh out there, and I think the pant got a piece of it to help her scoop that up.
How big of a momentum going into the bottom of the 7th would it be for a strikeout here for Doherty? That could really try to lift your spirits as a team. That's what she's going to be looking for here.
1-2 the count. Bases are loaded. A swing and a miss. And that is exactly the situation we see. The North Scott side is able to plate a run, but it could have been worse. And now Norwalk will come up with their season on the line. You're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
What's affordable to her might not be for him. Our means may be different, but our need for energy is the same. And keeping the price for that energy as low as possible is exactly what we strive to do. It's what we've always done. Investments made 10 years ago have kept prices nearly unchanged. Investments made today will help keep prices predictable for the future. With energy that's cleaner, reliable, and affordable for all. An energy future that's American-made. Mid-American. Obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
The Iowa Farm Bureau is proud to present the state softball tournament and celebrate the accomplishments of Iowa's student athletes. To the Iowa Farm Bureau, this is more than just a sport. It's hometown pride, it's hopes and dreams, it's our future leaders. It's a reason to do more and be more. And it's that farm-strong spirit that can only be found in Iowa. Congratulations to the student athletes and coaches on an outstanding softball season. And remember, today's successes are just the beginning of tomorrow's achievements.
Welcome back here with you live at the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Bottom of the 7th, and both teams know what they need to do. For Norwalk, they need at least 2 to keep this game going. For North Scott, they are 3 outs away from advancing to the state championship game. And a strike by McDermott in on Holbert, and if there is an area that you're excited about for the Warriors, it's at least that you've got the top of your order up. And an inside-out swing held onto by Brader in center. Holbert got a good look at it, a good piece of it. Unfortunately for her, the location was drifting right into Carly Brader.
Yeah, good swing there by Holbert. Sometimes you have a really good swing and you just hit it right at a defender, and that's what happens there. But yeah, Norwalk, top of their order. This is where they want to be. Got to score 2.
Over a long season, over a series, those things tend to even themselves out. You just want to go out there, make contact as many times as you can, and the law of averages says that that's going to advance you. In a one-and-done format, doesn't always work that way. Behind on that one was Brandt, and she can't catch up with the outside pitch. It's 1-1.
Yeah, and again, McDermott's been locked down here since the second inning when she threw 33 pitches and allowed Norwalk to really open the game offensively.
Poked at right back to the pitcher, and quickly McDermott has a couple of batters and some big batters down in the order. Maddie Goulion will come up as the last hope for the Warriors.
Yeah, and Goulian has a couple of hits so far today. Everything's gone to the right side for Goulian. She's gone with it from a right-handed batter.
Pushing out a couple of singles and then grounding out to the second baseman. Does have a ribby for her efforts. Twice has gotten a single, twice has been stranded at second. Chops it to, that takes an odd bounce and held onto by Spears. That one looked like it was going to be a low roller. It popped up at Spears, and the senior shows why they put her at first base as she records the last out of the game. And in a 6-4 score, same that we had in the other side of the bracket, but this one, by just the 7 innings instead of 10, it is going to be North Scott advancing to the title game.
Yeah, North Scott going to find the win. 7 versus 8 for the state title in Class 4A. You don't get to see that very often. Pretty cool to see.
Maddie McDermott, the pitcher for North Scott, as Crash Davis would say, very democratic, not needing to do it all herself. Picked up 3 strikeouts, but picked up the victory as North Scott scores 6 runs on 10 hits, commits 3 errors. That knocks off the Norwalk Warriors 4 runs on 8 hits and 4 errors. That's going to do it for ourselves as these two teams know their next opponent. For Norwalk, they will play in the 3rd place game tomorrow back here at Iowa Central Field at 6 o'clock, taking on Fort Dodge and going for a championship. The North Scott Lancers taking on the Winterset Huskies. That'll be tomorrow over at the Kruger Seeds Field at 7:30. For myself, for our camera operator, Nick McCluskey, our engineer and producer, Jose Guzman, and our color commentator, Zarin Exdal. My name is Eric Zamora, and a final from the semifinal action of Class 4A. It was North Scott 6, Norwalk 4. You've been watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Oh, sorry.